Doors and corners. Because in the Expanse, that's where people die. Not in heroic last stands, but in the thin spaces between bad intel and bad timing. And that's exactly the vibe the Expanse Osiris Reborn is aiming for. Not a power fantasy, not a galaxy-saving chosen one story. You're a merc caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to keep your crew alive and your ship running while the whole system tightens its grip around you. This is the moment where the Expanse finally starts looking like the kind of game it was always meant to be. A story-driven, squad-based sci-fi action RPG built around pressure, politics, and the terrifying math of survival. So here's the core identity, straight up. The Expanse Osiris Reborn is a third-person action RPG set in the Expanse universe, developed and published by Owlcat Games. And if you know Owlcat from Pathfinder or Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, this announcement hits different. Because they're not just dabbling in sci-fi, they're swinging for what they've described as a flagship-scale project. The setup is simple, and it's very Expanse. By the 24th century, humanity spread out across the system, and life still hasn't gotten easier. You play as a Pinkwater Security mercenary whose shore leave on Eros turns into a disaster, a lockdown, a spiral, and a conspiracy that's way bigger than your paycheck. And from there, you're not just surviving, you're taking command of one of the most advanced ships in the system and trying to hold a crew together while everything collapses. What really stands out is what this game is not trying to be. It's not trying to sell you on infinite planets. It's not trying to be a sandbox where the lore is optional. It's trying to be tight, personal, and political, the way the Expanse always feels when it's at its best. And Owlcat has been unusually direct about the inspiration. They've said the original Mass Effect trilogy was a major influence, but they want the story rooted in hard science fiction, with political tension, moral complexity, and yes, romance. That combination matters, because it tells you the goal: Mass Effect-style squad drama filtered through Expanse realism. Less space opera, more oxygen, loyalty, and consequences. And here's the part that instantly reads like an Expanse-specific RPG decision. You create and customize your own captain, and you choose your background: Earther, Martian, or Belter. That's not just a cosmetic pick. In this universe, that choice is a target on your back. Because everywhere you go, you're walking into history. Grudges, economic gravity, old revolutions, new propaganda, and the promise here is clear. Every decision leaves a mark. Now let's talk combat, because this is where the game is making its boldest promise. Osiris Reborn is built around third-person, cover-based gunplay mixed with abilities, and you're issuing real-time commands to your squad. But the most important structural detail is this: you bring two companions with you into the field. The rest of your crew doesn't just vanish into the ship menu, they're supporting in the background, doing things like disabling systems or drawing enemy attention. That sounds small, but it's actually huge for pacing and immersion. It turns companions into a living crew, not a pile of idle NPCs. And Owlcat has even talked about pulling inspiration from Mass Effect 2's suicide mission energy. That sense that everyone has a job, and if you assign roles wrong, things go sideways. So the combat fantasy isn't "I'm a super soldier," it's "I'm a captain making calls under pressure, hoping my team holds." And in the announcement materials they've shown so far, you can already see the kind of close quarters fights and tense movement the Expanse is known for, the kind where physics is always watching. Your companions also aren't framed as loadout slots. They're people with scars, motives, loyalties, and they can grow with you or break away from you depending on how you lead. And the ship is positioned like your hub, not just a menu, but your home. A place where decisions don't reset after a mission because you're still stuck with the consequences at dinner. Then there's the exploration, and this is where Osiris Reborn has a quiet advantage over a lot of modern space RPG design. They're not promising 1,000 empty rocks, they're promising iconic locations, places that matter. You'll be visiting spots like Ganymede, Ceres, Mars, and Luna. You'll be moving through ruined habitats and tense political strongholds, talking to locals, uncovering secrets, and using skills to influence what happens next. And there's a line in the official description that feels extremely Expanse. The system looks different from every planet and every asteroid. Some are falling apart, others just hide it better. The official description even teases the possibility of encountering a familiar face or voice, which is a smart way to connect to the broader universe without turning the game into fan service soup. One more thing people should clock early: the game isn't positioning itself as light entertainment. Even the official store description includes a detailed mature content warning, not presented as shock value, but as a heads up that this story may go into disturbing territory and heavy subject matter. That's consistent with the Expanse, honestly. This universe is built on exploitation, desperation, and systems that grind people down until something breaks. So if Osiris Reborn nails the tone, it won't be cool space fights. It'll be claustrophobia, distrust, and the fear of making the wrong call. Now, here's what's important to keep grounded. This isn't rumor energy. It's official. Owlcat and Alcon Interactive Group are partnered on this, and the game is already listed with full descriptions. It's confirmed as single player and positioned as coming soon, with no release date announced yet. Platforms are set for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. How sharp the gunplay is, how deep the RPG buildcraft goes, how reactive the story truly is once you're 10 hours in and the system starts remembering what you did, but the structure they're describing, captain identity, squad roles, real-time tactical commands, relationship fallout, that's a strong foundation. And then there's the bigger picture. Space RPG fans have been living on memories for a long time. A lot of the genre either goes massive and shallow or deep and microscopic, and what people keep craving is that mid-size, story-driven, character-led space RPG where your choices feel like pressure, not like a branching flowchart. That's why the Mass Effect inspiration line lit people up instantly, because it's not just nostalgia, it's a gap in the market, and the Expanse as an IP is uniquely suited to fill it, because it doesn't need the whole galaxy. It only needs the solar system, and it needs it to feel lived in, hostile, political, and small, in the way that makes every decision matter. So picture it. Eros is locked down. The air tastes wrong. Your crew is looking at you like they're trying to decide if you're the kind of captain worth following or the kind they'll have to abandon to survive. You step into cover, you mark targets, you send 2 people forward, and you assign the rest of your team roles back on the ship, because in this universe, everyone pulls their weight, or someone dies. And somewhere behind all that noise, the system is still doing what it always does, punishing the desperate, rewarding the ruthless, staying silent about whether you did the right thing. That's Osiris Reborn's promise. Not a hero story, a pressure story, a crew story, an Expanse story.